Our story begins in a prison located in the cold region of Siberia. Many German soldiers were lined up there like prisoners. After World War II ended, Russia had captured many German soldiers and forced them to work day and night in coal mines. Even though this prison didn't have very tight security, no prisoner tried to escape because the prison was surrounded by nothing but snow and ice everywhere. The prison was 14,000 kilometers away from any human settlement. So even if a prisoner managed to escape, he would surely die in Siberia's freezing cold weather. This prison was built in the middle of thousands of kilometers of snow and ice, stretching in all directions. That's why no prisoner could even think of escaping from there. But among these prisoners, there was one very smart man who desperately wanted to escape and return to his wife and daughter. This prisoner's name was Clemens Farrell, and he had been sentenced to 25 years in this prison. Clemens absolutely did not want to spend half his life in this jail. Clemens wanted to escape from this prison no matter what. Luckily, one day Clemens got a chance to escape, and he ran away by hiding in a coal-carrying train. When he saw the stars in the open sky outside the prison, he was filled with joy. But this happiness didn't last long. After traveling a short distance, the train was stopped, and when Clemens looked outside, a Russian soldier was standing in front of him with a gun pointed at him. Unfortunately, Clemens was caught there, and as punishment for trying to escape, he was locked in an outdoor cell. The cold was terrible, and the rain at night made Clemens's condition even worse. He was kept in that cell not just for a few hours but for 2 whole days. After 2 complete days, the prison warden came to him the next morning and took him out of the cell. He wasn't tortured at all. The warden simply said But the reality was also that even if he didn't escape, his death was certain because the coal mines where he worked had very high levels of carbon that entered his body through the air and caused dangerous diseases like cancer. So the doctor told Clemens that he should definitely try to escape from this prison one last time. After that, the doctor gave Clemens all his warm clothes, shoes, and necessary supplies, and also told him that Russian soldiers hid their food near the railway lines. Along with this, he also gave Clemens a gun so he could protect himself. Actually, the doctor had collected all this stuff beforehand because he also wanted to escape from this prison. But a week ago, he found out that he had cancer and didn't have more than a month to live. Now he gave Clemens a lunchbox and said that if he survived, he should deliver this lunchbox to his family and tell them that he was no longer in this world. Once again, in the darkness of night, Clemens escaped for the second time, and this time he decided to walk on foot instead of taking a freight train. He walked all night and continued walking in the morning because he was afraid that Russian soldiers might catch him. When the warden found out in the morning that Clemens had escaped from prison, he went straight to the doctor's room to question him. But before he could arrive, the doctor had already taken his own life because he knew that after hearing about Clemens's escape, the warden would torture him to death. After this, the warden sent many Russian soldiers to search for Clemens and ordered them to bring him back alive. But even after many days of searching, they couldn't find any trace of Clemens. Clemens was lucky that because snowfall had started, his footprints were being erased as he walked, making it difficult to track him. Now everyone began to think that Clemens must have frozen to death. After many days, Clemens ate a full meal and rested a bit before continuing his journey. In this long journey, Clemens was completely alone with nothing but snow around him. In this environment, his mental condition could have deteriorated, so he talked to himself and motivated himself with positive thoughts to keep moving forward. Along with this, he constantly checked his path using a compass, so he wouldn't get lost in this snowy valley. Days passed like this, then months. After walking continuously for 2 months, Clemens saw a small tree in this snowy field. Seeing this tree made Clemens so happy, as if he had found some treasure, and he ran and hugged that tree. Actually, this tree was a sign that after walking continuously for 2 months, Clemens had now crossed this snowy field, and a forest was going to start ahead. After walking just a little further, exactly what he had thought happened. The forest was about to begin from here, and the snowy area was ending. He was very happy in the forest. He gathered wood, lit a fire, and for the first time in many months, slept peacefully. But whether the next day would be peaceful for him or not, nobody knew. On the other side, we see the warden who was still searching for Clemens and had ordered his search party to look for Clemens within a 500-kilometer radius. Meanwhile, Clemens was moving forward through a forest when suddenly a snowstorm arrived there. This storm was so strong that even big trees started getting uprooted and falling to the ground. Just as Clemens tried to move forward, a big tree fell directly on him. Clemens was lucky that in the evening, 2 men passed by who were searching for gold. They saw Clemens and saved his life in time. After that, all 3 of them moved forward together, and after many days of travel, they came out of the snowy field. On the way, they found a river, and to cross it, Hay made a wooden boat. While crossing the river, they started talking to each other and telling childhood stories. But during this time, the river's current became strong, and the boat started going out of control. In this situation, one companion lost his balance and fell straight into the water. He didn't know how to swim and started drowning. Seeing this, Clemens jumped into the water and somehow brought that man to the shore and saved his life. On the other side, their other companion left both of them to drown and went ahead alone. His other companion was very greedy. He thought both of them must have died, and out of greed, he kept his friend's gold with himself. A little later, when Clemens and the other man reached the tent, that man became very angry at his friend and shot him dead. After that, Clemens and that man picked up the belongings and continued their journey. Both of them kept walking for many months with the hope of finding some human settlement. But the winter season came again, and the forests everywhere were covered with a white blanket of snow. The belongings that the man had picked up were quite heavy, so he was having difficulty walking in the snow. Seeing this, Clemens tried to lighten his burden and said to give him some of his belongings for a while. But here, that man became suspicious that maybe Clemens also wanted to steal his gold. So he attacked Clemens and pushed him down, making Clemens unconscious. A little later, when Clemens regained consciousness, he saw a pack of wolves coming toward him. To save his life, he started climbing a tree. But while climbing the tree, a wolf grabbed his foot. However, the tree was weak and broke in the middle, causing Clemens to fall down. Now Clemens thought his death was certain. Suddenly, there was the sound of gunshots. When Clemens opened his eyes, he saw that some wolves were dead, and those that were alive had run away. Actually, local hunters had come and saved his life. They took him to their village where the villagers treated him. After years of hard work, Clemens had reached a human settlement. He was extremely happy to see people. He stayed in the village for many days, and the people took very good care of him. One day, a letter came to the village that was from none other than the warden himself. It said that a German soldier had escaped from their prison, and if anyone gave him shelter, they would be called traitors. Now, even though he didn't want to, Clemens had to leave this village because if he didn't go, the warden would punish these villagers too. Before leaving, the villagers gave him food and drinking supplies and a hunting dog. In this long journey, Clemens now had a companion too, so he no longer felt lonely. Both of them walked for many days. On the way, they saw a wood factory, and the dog ran toward it looking for food. Now Clemens went inside the mill to save his dog. There, the workers recognized Clemens and took him to the owner. Going there, Clemens told the owner his entire story, which made everyone feel sorry for Clemens. They fed him and put him on a train going to Germany. Clemens was happy that he would soon reach home, but he didn't know that the mill owner had informed the warden about him. Now the warden was waiting for him at the station with his soldiers. But before reaching the station, Clemens saw Russian soldiers from a distance and jumped from the train and ran away as soon as he got a chance. But unfortunately, the Russian soldiers saw him and started chasing him. Clemens quickly crossed the railway tracks, but suddenly the warden appeared in front of him from nowhere. Seeing this, Clemens's heart sank, because now he felt that his years of hard work had gone to waste. Before the warden could arrest him, Clemens's dog attacked the warden and bit him, and once again Clemens got a chance to escape. He started running from there with all his might, but then he heard the sound of gunfire, and when he looked back, he saw his dog lying dead. Seeing this, Clemens felt very sad, but despite this, he didn't stop and kept moving forward with all his strength. After that, he climbed onto a bridge and jumped onto a train passing below and escaped from there. And in this way, he escaped from the warden's hands again. Days passed like this, and Clemens slowly moved forward in this journey. Before he knew it, the year 1952 had arrived, and now it had been a full 7 years since Clemens had escaped from prison. He was in Central Asia at that time and was wandering around in a village fair. In that fair, he saw different kinds of food and drinks. He felt like eating, but he didn't have money, so he hardened his heart and moved forward. Then his eyes fell on 2 girls who were selling pancakes at the fair. Clemens wanted to eat these pancakes, but the poor man didn't have a penny in his pocket. So he walked ahead sadly. But then one of the girls felt sorry for him and tore off a piece of pancake and gave it to Clemens. At first, Clemens felt a bit strange. Then he thanked the girls and ate that pancake. Now there was also a kind man at this fair who had seen all this. After that, Clemens went to a church, and this man also followed him and came to the church. Actually, this man was also once a prisoner, so he didn't hand over Clemens to the police and tried to help him. After that, he took Clemens to his house, where Clemens shaved after many years and returned to his old appearance. Then that man gave Clemens a new passport, so he could cross the Russian border and reach Germany. Clemens was very happy with that man. Before leaving, Clemens thanked him and set off toward the border between Russia and Germany. A few weeks later, Clemens reached the Russian border and showed his passport to the Russian soldier there. Here, Clemens was afraid that the soldier might recognize him or his fake passport might be caught. But luckily nothing like that happened, and the soldier gave Clemens permission to cross the border. Seeing this, Clemens became so happy that even though he wanted to, he couldn't stop his laughter. Now finally he came to that bridge which, after crossing, would bring him to his country Germany. But as soon as he reached halfway, a bright light fell on his eyes, and when he opened his eyes, he found the warden in front of him. When Clemens looked back, he was still on Russian soil, and this meant that the warden could still arrest him. Here Clemens's heart broke because his years of hard work were about to turn to dust. But then something happened that even Clemens himself didn't expect. Here the warden cleared his path and gave him permission to go ahead. At first, Clemens couldn't believe it, but still, he gathered courage and moved forward. Actually, the warden was quite inspired by Clemens's will to live and his bravery. So he didn't arrest Clemens and let him return to his country. And then the warden said to him, "This fight was just between 2 soldiers, one me and one you, and you won it. Go live your life." Now finally Clemens crossed that border and reached his country Germany. After this, he reached near his home where he saw his daughter and wife. After a while, when both of them left home to go to church, Clemens also followed them and came to the church. Although Clemens hadn't called out to his daughter yet, she had always hoped that one day her father would surely come. When his daughter looked back, she recognized her father and ran and hugged him. Now, after so many years, seeing Clemens alive, his wife's happiness knew no bounds. Finally, all 3 of them hugged each other, and with this movie based on a true story ended here.